today's Biomass Magazine 2014 editorial outlook. My name is Tim Ports. I am the executive editor of Biomass Magazine. We're happy to have you here today. I'm joined today by John Nelson, marketing director at BBI International, and just a quick rundown on what we hope to accomplish here in the next 25 minutes. For all of you, we want to make sure that you understand the audience at Biomass Magazine, who reads our magazine, how many of those people read our magazine. John will walk you through that. Let's talk about circulation. Let's talk about our bonus distributions. Additionally, John's got some very compelling information about our reach online with our biomassmagazine.com product that I think people will find compelling. At that point, John will hand the webinar back to me. I'll talk a little bit about how we've laid out Biomass Magazine in the last year and how we have done that intentionally to attract readers in every segment of the biomass industry. I'll then move into a high-flying and fast-moving overview of the 2014 editorial calendar, month by month, with a focus on the bonus distributions. You're going to see a very compelling pairing of theme and bonus distribution for the 2014 calendar of Biomass Magazine, and you're going to want to stick around till the end as John will come back on and talk about an exclusive webinar discount for those of you that are on the phone with us today. Looking forward to it. Thanks again for joining us, and at this point, it's my pleasure to hand this off to my colleague, John Nelson. Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Tim. Hello, I appreciate everyone taking the time to be on today's webinar. As a marketing, sales, business development, or advertising professional, or even an owner of a company, we are constantly looking for cost-effective ways to promote our products or services to the right audience. If you are currently in or looking to explore the biomass market, Biomass Magazine is the industry's most recognizable publication and offers the best opportunity to gain mass exposure in this niche market. Biomass Magazine's print edition is distributed to 5,000 readers each month. More importantly, 1,125 of those readers are current or future producers of biomass power and heat, biogas, pellets, or advanced biofuels. And in addition to the 1,125 producers from around the globe, we mail a copy of Biomass Magazine to all attendees of the International Biomass Conference and Expo, as well as a number of important industry events that Tim is going to cover in a few moments. As you can see on the slide, with readers in 52 countries, the largest category of our circulation consists of producers, who represent 17% of our readership base. The graph also shows the next types of companies who are subscribers. They are equipment and service providers, consultants, technology providers, academics, officials in the government and military, and so on. By purchasing advertising in Biomass Magazine, you can be assured that you are reaching the right people in the biomass industry. Next slide, please. Biomass Magazine's web presence has grown leaps and bounds during the last few years. Through the use of our ongoing stories being posted to the site, search engine optimization, content from maps, blogs, the Biomass Store, and the Biomass Industry Directory, we have increased our traffic to the numbers you see on the slide. And I also want to note that these numbers are based on Google Analytics and were last updated June 2013. And also I'd like to note, if you are interested in getting even more specifics, please contact an account representative. Chip, Kelsey, Howie, or Brittany are more than happy to share any information with you. For some updated numbers to date, in 2013, the numbers continue to grow, and we're averaging nearly 102,000 page views or impressions each month, and 57,000 visitors per month. Based on the slide in front of you, 10.7% of our visitors are on mobile devices. We're now seeing this increase to 12.5%, and this is being driven by the increased use of mobile devices and tablets. We've also added stronger search features and recommended articles section on the website that helps visitors find the most relevant stories, in the end keeping visitors on the site longer. So what does that mean to you as an advertiser? It hopefully means if you purchase online advertising, more eyeballs will be on your ad. The impressions go up, clicks to your website increase, and hopefully you gain more business. Next slide, please. We have visitors to our website from around the globe. The slide in front of you shows the top 10 visits by country. Clearly, the U.S. is at the top by a large margin, with the U.K., Canada, India, and Germany following. The next graph demonstrates each country's pages per visit rate. Visitors from Spain actually visit more pages than visitors from other countries when they visit biomassmagazine.com. And then this is followed by the U.S. and China. So this is demonstrating that many companies from around the world, not just the U.S., are looking to understand the latest biomass technologies and policies. Next slide, please. So you're probably wondering why we're showing you our social media network. And the reason we're showing you this is to make you aware that we are actively promoting our stories on all the sites you see listed. And based on Google Analytics, we are seeing traffic come in from Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Blogger, etc. And if you're following this industry, you've probably seen many of our posts. Every story, every important policy change, every event is posted to these sites. And to give you an example, during the past 2 years, we've tweeted 3,358 times and accumulated 5,851 Twitter followers. The goal of all this activity is to bring visitors back to biomassmagazine.com to read our stories and see your online advertisements or your print advertisements in our digital issue of the magazine. Now, before I hand it over to Tim, one point that I believe many of you would find extremely beneficial is that we have an outstanding art department that helps produce this magazine. When you purchase an advertisement with Biomass Magazine, you gain access to the art department to help you design and create your ads free of charge. This can be a huge cost savings to you as the advertiser, and that point many times flies under the radar. So with that said, I appreciate your time and now hand it over to Tim Ports.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Obviously, John does a great job of framing up our readership, who our readers are. My job now is to help you understand how we attract those readers into the pages of Biomass Magazine or onto the website of Biomass Magazine and hold their attention once they're there. One thing I want to point out, and this is just an example of our table of contents from the September issue, we decided late 2012 to divide Biomass Magazine into its industry segments. You'll see we have a section for power, pellets, thermal, biogas, and advanced biofuels and chemicals. So regardless of the sector of this industry that you play in, there are pages expressly produced for you in every issue of Biomass Magazine. We think that does a lot to bring in a very diverse readership, keep our readership engaged on a month-to-month basis. Let's talk about those months. Before I dig into the month-by-month analysis of the themes, I really want to say that our team is incredibly proud of the 2014 editorial calendar, and most particularly, we're very excited about the pairing of content with highly targeted bonus distributions. I don't think that anyone at BBI would argue that 2014 is our very strongest effort pairing content with targeted bonus distribution. So looking forward to walking through each of you through this editorial calendar. So let's talk about January. January, we bring our plant maintenance, operations, and management team back. We did this in January of 2013. The new component of the January issue are a couple of things. Number one, I want to draw attention to this little icon down here. In April 2013, we introduced a biomass construction update, quarterly effort, where we highlight the construction that's happening in this industry. We have construction stories for biomass power facilities, thermal facilities, pellet facilities, and biogas facilities. We intend to carry that coverage forward on a quarterly basis in 2014. So this attracts a lot of readership, a lot of attention, so you certainly want to be on the lookout for this construction update bug. The other thing that I want to point out is just the sheer number of bonus distribution here. The 2014 Energy Generation Conference, 1,500 attendees. The National Biodiesel Conference, 1,500 attendees. Cooling Tower Institute, every facility that has a boiler has a cooling tower, 400 attendees. And then the Energy, Utility, and Environment Conference, 2,000 attendees. Plants, whether it be a planned outage or an unplanned outage, maintenance is a reality at biomass to energy facilities. It shows up on a monthly or annual budgets, and it's something that plant owners and plant operators are very, very intimately aware of and looking to keep abreast of the latest technologies. Moving into February, our dedicated energy crops. Dedicated readers of Biomass Magazine may remember that we very recently featured our energy crops issue, and that's right. We covered this segment in the September issue this year. We're moving it in February for a very specific reason, and I want to draw attention to that right now. The Commodity Classic, arguably America's largest gathering of farmers and producers. We are very happy to pair this particular issue with that audience, as if energy crops are in fact going to become a significant component of the agricultural engine in this country, farmers will have to see the opportunity, and for that reason, we're distributing this issue there. We're also distributing this issue of Biomass Magazine at the National Ethanol Conference this year in Orlando. And just very quickly, the September issue, we look forward to that beginning early this summer. We're wondering, will we be able to populate each section of Biomass Magazine with a story about energy crops? I'm happy to report that not only were we able to do that, we were able to select from a number of stories in each category. Dedicated energy crops are being targeted for power production, thermal energy production, pellet manufacturing, and in fact, dedicated energy crops, as we reported in the September 2013 issue, are being introduced into anaerobic digesters and being used to generate baseload biogas-derived power. So looking forward to bringing that issue together again and distributing it at the Commodity Classic. March, we've moved our project development and plant construction issue up 1 month. We want to tackle that in March this year. Very popular issue, and for good reason. People in this industry are interested in hearing about construction. They may be involved in the construction of facilities themselves, so stories about the trials and tribulations and successes of other builders and constructors is of great interest to them. Not to mention, it enjoys the hotel room drop at the 2014 International Biomass Conference and Expo. After taking in the opening day's content and festivities, attendees to that event will return to their rooms and have the March 2014 issue waiting for them. Additionally, we're distributing this particular issue at the Landfill Gas Symposium. Moving into April, a couple of great things about April. Again, biomass construction update. These come around relatively quickly, but the great thing is I honestly don't think anyone can say that they have their finger on the pulse of active construction sites in the way that Biomass Magazine is. So we're going to continue that effort. We're going to continue to bring information to all of you about these projects that you can find nowhere else. People in biomass make this go around. Yes, the technologies are exciting. Yes, the market opportunities that are growing in places like Europe and other parts of the world are exciting, but without people driving that innovation, driving that market expansion, none of this would happen. This is a new offering in our 2014 calendar, and we are debuting this at the International Biomass Conference and Expo, actually inside of the conference bags and distributed at BBI booths through that event, 1,600 folks there, and then the Heating the Midwest and Heating the Northeast with Renewable Biomass series from BTEC, 150 and 500 attendees respectively. Very excited to put this together and celebrate the men and women of this great industry. Moving into May, Waste to energy projects, resources, and technologies. Again, as an input, waste seems to be ubiquitous across this industry. Whether you're making pellets or liquid fuels, waste is increasingly targeted as an input, and for good reason. It's one of the only input streams that typically people don't pay money for, and in many cases enjoy tipping fees. So the project economics seem to come together relatively rapidly, as well as the incredible position that waste-to-energy facilities already enjoy in this space. Some 30% of most of biomass-derived power in this country comes from waste-to-energy facilities. Terrific slate of bonus distributions here. Waste Expo, 7,000 folks at that particular conference. The North American Waste-to-Energy Conference, 300 folks there, and then mailed to the attendees of the International Biomass Conference and Expo. That's probably something that folks should take note of. If that particular audience, if something about that audience is really attractive to you, the March, April, May trio all end up in the hands of conference attendees one way or the other. So if you're looking to bundle and amass the majority of your investment in Biomass Magazine around that particular conference and bonus distributions tied to that conference, March, April, and May is a really good 3-month stretch. Let's move into June. Plant safety, fire protection, and emergency response. This is a very important issue. The #1 asset at any biomass energy facility are the people that work inside of that facility, and guaranteeing their safety is top of mind with owners, general managers, shift managers, and clearly environmental health and safety professionals as well. We'll be distributing this at the 2014 International Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo. Some 2,000 biofuels industry insiders at that event, the largest ethanol production conference in the world, both conventional biofuels and advanced ethanols. So exciting pairing there as well. Moving into July, probably one of my favorite issues from the entire year was our distributed and on-site bioenergy projects issue. Biomass is increasingly being deployed at smaller scales in a very targeted and niche energy need situation. The cover here is from Millinocket Hospital in Maine, and they're standing in front of a very large pellet boiler that they installed and generated immediate energy savings for their facility. You'll want to notice that not only is this an incredible theme, but again, the biomass construction update appears in this issue. We're distributing this in bags, in conference bags. I think that's really important to think about at the European Biomass Conference and Exhibition. If you're an American supplier of technology or solutions, service solutions, looking to grow your reach in the European markets, investment in Biomass Magazine's July issue makes a ton of sense. Additionally, we're in conference bags at the Pellet Fuels Institute annual conference and in conference bags at the United States Department of Energy Biomass event in Washington, D.C. in the summer. So collectively, that's another nearly 3,000 impressions that you generate with very, very specific audiences. So pay close attention to that one. Moving into August, the equipment issue of Biomass Magazine. This is another theme that's moved from the current month in 2013, actually, the December issue. We're wrapping the 2013 season with our equipment issue, and it's in production now. We're moving it, however, because of these incredible opportunities for these bonus distributions. No, we are not printing 150,000 iterations of Biomass Magazine for the Farm Progress Show. However, we plan to take a couple of thousand issues for distribution at the Farm Progress Show because, again, it's akin to that commodity classic situation. If I am a agricultural producer in this country and I'm making specific decisions about an equipment purchase because I want to bale my corn stover, or I'm going to get involved in energy, I'm going to establish energy crops, or I'm going to engage in the cultivation of fast-growing willow or poplar, and I need a harvest forager, or I need a baler. I'm at the Farm Progress Show. I want to read about that. We know that there are going to be those folks at those events that want to read about this, and that's why we're That's why we've moved the equipment issue into August to accommodate those incredible shows. So great issue there and great bonus distribution. Moving into September, the biomass handling, storage, and preparation. Biomass handles differently than petroleum-derived inputs. It can't get wet. It's got dust that needs to be considered highly flammable and combustible dust. And those that operate biomass to energy facilities know that all of it falls apart if you do not have a robust and well-considered input, handling, and storage solution. So this is an important issue. This is a theme that's not going anywhere. And we paired this with the Algae Biomass Summit, some 700 attendees there, and then our National Advanced Biofuels Conference and Expo, 350 folks and growing. One of the central themes for the National Advanced Biofuels Conference and Expo was, if we're going to make all these 22 billion gallons of advanced biofuels that the RFS calls for, that's an awful lot of biomass. How are we going to harvest that biomass, handle it, store it, until it's ready for conversion in the facility? So a lot of eyeballs on this issue, a lot of folks reading, great issue to put together. Moving into the October issue, third quarter biomass construction update. I certainly want to draw attention to that. Next, feedstock certification and sustainability. If you're on this phone right now, if you're following the biomass space right now, you understand that the exportation of American-made wood pellets is one of the largest stories in this industry. However, beginning in April of 2015, the United Kingdom's Department of Energy and Climate Change is going to mandate that those power producers in the United Kingdom that are qualifying renewable energy credits and satisfying the renewable obligation with woody biomass-derived power will have to prove that their supply chain is, quote-unquote, sustainable. Rulemaking is yet to be determined on that. The chain of custody and landowner audits are certainly part and parcel with feedstock certification and chain of custody, and we're going to cover that growing story in the pages of Biomass Magazine throughout the year, but really focus in on it in October, and a couple of great bonus distributions there. The U.S. Industrial Pellet Association Exporting Pellet Conference, SEF Fast Growing Conference there, 550 or so attendees, and then the Sustainable Forestry Initiative Annual Conference. So if you play in the space of third-party audits, of sustainability reporting, mechanisms to track your supply chain, and then this is an issue that you certainly want to consider, because great theme and great bonus distributions. The November issue of Biomass Magazine, we bring back our U.S. military bioenergy production and use. We just wrapped this particular issue and sent it to press, and I have to say, I think the team enjoyed putting this issue of Biomass Magazine together as much as any other throughout the year. Biomass is growing inside of the U.S. military establishment. If you think about the Department of Defense as a country, and sort of the Department of Defense, it can include all the branches, the energy consumption generated by that large body is the #1 single largest user of energy in the world. As a country, it would rank in the 40s in terms of overall energy use, right alongside of countries like Portugal and Israel. So a very large consumer of energy, and increasingly concerned with growing the share of their energy that comes from renewable sources. Would like to be up to 25% in the next 2 decades. Couple those things together, and what you have is a picture of the United States Department of Defense as one of the hottest markets for biomass-derived energy out there. So again, taking a close look at military bioenergy production and use in the November issue. And finally, we'll wrap the 2014 editorial calendar up with a theme that we moved again from June of 2013 to the end of the year: biomass integrations, conversions, and co-locations. This issue really spawned a lot of our interest in export markets for pellets, as the cover story last year was on the conversion of the United Kingdom's largest power producer in that kingdom and the second largest power producer in all of Western Europe. The Drax facility converting 3 of 6 of its boilers over to biomass inputs, and the conversions and co-locations certainly continue as more and more power producers look to convert coal-based assets and other petroleum-derived energy input assets over to biomass to drive out greenhouse gas intensity out of their production assets. Great issue. Looking forward to put it together, and a great bonus distribution to PowerGen International. 21,000 attendees at that event, so we'll have a presence there. Anyone at that event interested at all in biomass as a potential co-fire or even converting their facilities over will certainly want to grab this issue of Biomass Magazine. With that, I am at the end of the 2014 calendar. Again, we don't come by these themes by accident. We engage our editorial board. We look at response and readership of the stories that we produced from themes that we did deploy this year, and if theme's not working, we abandon it and bring something new in. So what you're looking at is the cumulative effort of a well-established brand that really has been engineered to, again, grab the attention of those that are in the biomass energy space and hold it once it's got it. So with that, I'm happy to turn the call back over to my colleague, John Nelson. Go ahead, John.
Thank you, Tim, for that comprehensive overview. So what we would like to offer you is a 20% discount on one full page or one half page print advertisement. And this is exclusively only to attendees of this webinar, and the offer expires January 1st, 2014. So whether you've advertised with us in the past or you're looking to try Biomass Magazine out, now is a great time to take advantage of this 20% savings. So in order to take advantage of it, we would ask that you would contact us at service@bbiinternational.com or call us at 866-746-8385. Or if you know who your account representative is, you definitely can contact them, and they'll be more than happy to help you out. So with that, Tim, any last remarks before we wrap it up?
Not at all, John. Looking forward to covering a tremendous industry in 2014 and bringing the most compelling and thoughtful stories to our established readership. It's going to be a great year. Thanks for joining us. Hope everybody has a pleasant afternoon. Thank you.